Radio Al-Ansar, 24/7, 365. The views and opinions expressed by the presenters and guests of Radio Al-Ansar are not necessarily the views and opinions of Radio Al-Ansar and the Al-Ansar Foundation.
أحب الوفاء بشتى الصور أحب الوفي الأمين أغر فأهل الوفاء كلون السحاب
बदल दे दिल की दुनिया दिल बदल दे खुदाया फजल फरमा दिल बदल दे
Dil Badal Day is proudly brought to you by Lifestyle Food and Home, your elite culinary destination.
मजा आ जाए दिल बदल दे मौला या बदल दे दिल की दुनिया दिल बदल दे खुदाया फजल फरमा दिल बदल दे हवा हिर्स वाला दिल बदल दे मेरा गफलत में डूबा दिल बदल दे खुदाया फजल फरमा दिल. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're listening to Radio Al-Ansar on 90.4 FM in Durban and 105.6 in Pietermaritzburg. And if you audio streaming, www.alansar.co.za. Furthermore, on Facebook, we are live on Facebook. You can zone in and you can see what the studio looks like, what I look like. Yes, it's Saturday. It's gone past 10 o'clock and every week, alhamdulillah, Dil Badal Day. So, if you're a regular listener for the past 16, 17 years, you know who this is. But if you don't, let me formally introduce us, the Dil Badal Day team. My name is Faizal C. Joosab, and with me is my co-host and colleague. And it is so many other things I can use. But needless to say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Miss Iman Joosab.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
Cold. It's a bit windy today, so I'm a complainer, aren't I?
No.
Anyway, Asif is looking a bit raggedy today, but doesn't matter. I'm sure he'll kick into gear just now. But this is the Dil Badal Day show.
Now, before we go any further, I want to ask you, what does Dil Badal Day mean?
Change your heart.
Change your heart.
Mm.
And your perception, maybe?
Yeah, your heart meaning your perception, because that's where perceptions are formulated, in your heart. Now, since we are family and marriage counselors, which means we deal with sticky situations like marital discord, separations, fights, arguments needing arbitration, general education as to how to get along with your spouse permanently, how to maintain happiness and stability and homeostasis. Yes, we do that. Counseling has become a very integral part of our psychology in this new era, because before Chacha and Mama used to say, don't worry, make sabr and carry on. Now we need to address these issues, because with the advent of social media, everybody has learned how to utilize their voice, and not many people are going to keep quiet. So we have to have not an argument, a discussion. So we teach people how to communicate and how to handle conflict, meaning arguments. Because unfortunately, arguments, don't you think people lose control, Misbah?
Yeah, but on the topic of heart and perception, I somewhere heard, and I don't know how true it is, you tell me, right?
Mm-hmm.
That this only good or evil can stay in your heart. You can't have good or bad.
I don't follow what you mean. Like
if your heart has some evil in it, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can't be in that heart. Is that true?
Yeah. Now we're talking about evil in a very heavy level, because I mean, there's some people that just have been affected by life and have decided that, look, you know what, all they're going to do is create anarchy. And we know some of those people as the people who are brutally and annihilating and oppressing our people in Palestine. Yes, those people, Allah Pak can't be in their hearts. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But for some people who have the light of Iman, such as us, Alhamdulillah, that we can have good, and because we have Allah in our heart, it kind of like pushes out the bad, but it's a real struggle, because nafs influences your heart. So you got Allah Pak in your heart, you have goodness, you have Iman, you've been blessed with Iman in your heart, but nafs keeps on telling you, see, you're keeping quiet, what's happening? See, what's happening? Look, what happens?
It's not shaitan, it's the nafs.
Yeah, because shaitan starts the stories with your nafs and then runs away. This is what the ulama tells us. Now, this is not spiritual stories that you're only supposed to listen to in the masjid. These are stories that you have to pay attention to because it's human stories. Look, it's the truth, right? Your soul is something that you're going to have forever. It's going to go for the day of Qiyamah. You're going to go to Jannah. Medical science don't acknowledge it, does it? I mean, does medical science only talk about souls? They talk only about the body, and the body is supposed to die. So we're fighting a losing cause here. We're just trying to make it the best we can. So Islam teaches you how to have the best body, the best mindset, and the best taqdeer.
That's
Because
where counseling also helps, where your person is in self doubt.
Mhm.
We show them the direction, which road to choose.
Be positive.
Be positive.
Let everybody have that blood group. Be positive.
Okay.
So last week we spoke about trust and how to integrate trust, and we spoke about the minor things that break trust, like for instance, those minor little things where you just don't disclose, you're not transparent, you're fibbing here and there. The bigger trust factors like infidelity and betrayal and all that, we spoke about that the week before that. But this week, when trust breaks, right, then how hard it is to really go further. Now, sometimes a trust could have been broken through an argument because, like we said earlier, an argument basically you say a lot of nasty things which you regret later, and then when you come back to your sanity, then you want to say, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that you are fat. I didn't mean that you are old. I didn't mean that you are stupid. I didn't mean that you are broke. I didn't mean that you are poor. I didn't mean that you are a shaitan. I didn't mean that you are a iblis,
Arrogant.
conceited." Sometimes we say those things we regret, and then later we're going to say to our spouses, "I'm sorry, husband, I'm sorry, wife." But there is always a conflict in marriage because two different desire systems. Now, what happens is when they cross the line and they call you something that is really, really gone too far, which means now they really hurt your inner feelings. Does that ring a bell?
Inner feelings.
Misbah? So now, when a person is upset, and they need a timeout. Now that's fine. Now let's say, for instance, you and your wife had a huge argument. Now men, mashallah, we are resilient, right? Allah Pak has given us a lot more resilience than women. Women are stronger because, I mean, they go through childbirth and all of that. I mean, they're amazingly strong. But men, you know what? When we see a finger cut, we say, "Hey, I ain't got time to bleed." Things like that. But a woman will say, "Oh, no, it's bleeding. No, come here, put a plaster on," and all that. Women are more compassionate. Men bounce up faster. It's just natural science, right? But when you have an argument, sometimes your wife needs a little bit of time and she might now process that. How could he have called those nasty things? How could he have sworn my father? My father did so much for him. These things happen on a daily basis. So she'll take her time out. But now what we want to talk about today is stonewalling, passive aggression. Now the definition of stonewalling is to delay or obstruct by being evasive. Now, stonewalling is construed is when you don't talk to each other for weeks, months on an end. And some people, unfortunately, are not talking to each other for years on end. Think about it. There's this father who had a big fight with his son, and they're not talking now for years. The ulama talk about this all the time. Brothers not talking to each other, cousins, uncles, aunties, mothers and daughters. Now,
Nobody wants to let go. Nobody wants to forgive fast. Nobody wants to break the ice. Nothing.
true. So stonewalling, now, outside relatives is another story. But what if you're living with a person and you're stonewalling him, like your spouse? Because it's when one partner withdraws from an interaction, basically shuts down and won't talk to you. It's not only frustrating when that happens, but it also kills connection and erodes trust. That means she thought, you know what, you'll always have her back. And now when she's saying, where are you going? And you just walk away. Assalamu alaikum. And you don't bother saying wa alaikum assalam. Now later on, if I have to ask you, did that? Yeah, I did it in my mind. I said in my mind. So, okay, obligation fulfilled. Allah Pak was witness to that. But she didn't hear it. So how bad she felt. So stonewalling is just one way we close down to each other when we fear we won't get our needs met. The problem is that we can become a habit.
It's
So
a destructive pattern in relationships where one partner emotionally withdraws and shuts down communication during conflict, and often out of feeling of overwhelmed or as a defense mechanism.
But if you're overwhelmed, you'll be overwhelmed for a couple of days, not for weeks and years. So stonewalling essentially becomes a form of punishment.
Yeah,
You know
they're
what?
waiting for some kind of respectful argument or maybe apology. They're waiting
But
for
sometimes she'll come and say, I'm sorry. And he says, I can't forgive you.
So
Now,
why he can't forgive? Because
because you said it yourself, because how could she disrespect me? We take ourselves too seriously and we become a little bit egotistical, like you said, the heart. Now, she can't say anything wrong to you. Remember, Rasulullah Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was perfect, and yet his wife and wives, and they remember they are our mothers, they did nothing wrong. They are perfect. They are our mothers. But they showed us that your wife has that right over you. So she'll say something to you. Now, let's say now we have an argument, me and Mispa. Okay, which we do, right? Allah
Okay.
protect us. But now, if you're not going to talk to me for weeks on end, why would you not talk to me?
No, but I would want to talk to you. I will wait for you to come. Like, okay, if somebody is angry and maybe they exploded, then there's a time when you calm down and you realize that I'm missing this person. I want to talk to this person.
So look, it's a categorical fact, right? That most of the time it's the ladies who are not the stonewallers, unless they're traumatized.
Unless they are traumatized.
Yeah, stonewalling is
or
very
he went too
upsetting.
far.
Yeah, because stonewalling is very upsetting to women, increasing their physiological arousal, heart rates, heavy breathing, palpitations, those kind of things, and intensifying the pursuit of the issue. So they don't want to talk about it, right? And you
Because
want to blame.
I'll give you one scenario that normally happens, right?
Okay.
After an argument, a lot of men go and they can sleep.
Yeah, that's true.
And women cannot sleep, and it hurts them that why is he sleeping?
Well, you see, you're not a man. So a man just tries to like I told you, resilience.
Okay.
Sleep well tomorrow morning, everything will be fine. My father's golden words, there was, right? We live by those
So
words.
men believe that if they'll go to sleep, tomorrow morning she'll be calmer.
No, we'll address the issue on a calmer level.
Oh, okay.
So slowly and surely you'll understand. Let the man sleep tomorrow morning when he's less angry and more humble. Then he'll say, see, I shouldn't
So
have
it's
said those
okay
things.
if men goes because women cannot sleep.
See, you can't fight a court case in one day. It takes
Okay.
months, sometimes years to resolve an issue.
Because as your point, women like to talk.
And the day of Qiyamah is going to last 50,000 years.
Okay.
Right. So if you want to talk, send it on WhatsApp, right? Or write it down in a journal and keep it for tomorrow. But sometimes it is better not to say things when you are in a very bad mood. You agree?
Yeah.
Right. So
It
men
damages.
sleeping, I got that. But it makes sense that men are more likely than women to stonewall because of what brain science reveals. In general, women's brains are more developed in the areas of feelings, verbal, interpersonal relating skills, which means their amygdala, which means the center, the central of the brain, they call the reptilian brain, where emotion, memories, all these things. So you want to
That's why
talk.
when he's sleeping, she wants to wake him up and she wants to ask him and she wants to talk.
Yeah, we hear that very often in our counseling, and women want to talk, and men says, "Listen, I'm tired, leave me alone," because he don't want to talk. He doesn't trust himself. He'll say the right thing, or perhaps understand.
So the reason men goes to sleep is because they just want things to calm down.
Yeah, because
they're not disrespecting women.
because they have to find a solution. Because men's brains are more developed in the area of problem solving and solution seeking. So tomorrow he'll be able to tell you what. So just take a remand. Day of Qiyamah, 50,000 years, not 50,000 seconds. Let it go. Let him rest. Let's take it easy and let's talk. Because when a person stonewalls, he or she displays the need to disengage. Now, again, I'm saying if you stonewall for a day or two, you know what? It's okay. It's not the end of the world. It might have been a serious situation. There might have been a lot of insults and some very disreputable, disgraceful things that came out of each other's mouths. But if it's going to go for weeks on end, you need some professional advice here, because you can't now disengage from the person. Because the psychological removal from relationships and situations can result in dire fallout. It's very disrespectful when your husband is telling you, "Oh, is there anything you eat? I mean, what you cook today? What are you talking to me for? Huh? Go talk to your mother. Yesterday you're jumping for your mother. Huh?" That's not how you talk. Or she comes to him, "You'll be home later. Can you bring some milk and bread? Go ask your father. Yesterday had a big mouth with me. Don't talk to me. Why are you talking to me?" Now, we hear these things. We hear nasty things said. And look, it's a human error. It's human frailty. Things are said. But to continue now fighting the battle the next day because you can't let go, then that's grudging. The one thing that has to stop when you get married, you must throw away your scorecards. There's no grudges involved. There's no score keeping. You have to understand, if you're going to make your spouse unhappy, you are going to be unhappy. Which spouse today can say, "I made my husband angry today, I'm so happy," or "I hurt my wife's feelings, I'm so happy"? That doesn't work, does it? Oil and water doesn't mix. So if you're going to be happy after she's unhappy, hi, what's wrong with you? How can happy wife, happy life? When your husband is happy with you eating your food and complimenting you, how good a woman feels. So it doesn't work, does it, Bisma?
So basically, if your spouse conceals all of his or her emotions and does not occasionally shower you with love and affection, it means that they're not connected with you on an emotional level.
Yes, and that's when stonewalling becomes the apparent go-to place, because the person is not connected to you. See, look, a lot of people, unfortunately, have very superficial relationships.
Yeah.
We don't communicate. Now, when you say communicate, how? We talk. I WhatsApp her. She talks to me. No, no, no. Communication means, well, today I woke up in the morning and I had this pain running down my arm. I wanted to wake you up and tell you, please massage me. Now that's communication, personal, intimate on a level. And then say, why are you giving me this today again? I know it was tasty, but why are you giving me this again? You say, what? It's food. Remember, Sahabas didn't have this. You always say that all the time. I said, yeah, Sahabas didn't have food. You're right. I'm so sorry. I need to eat it. That's communication.
So,
Two friends talking.
Yeah, so stonewalling is also emotional withdrawal.
Yeah.
A person stonewalling emotionally detaches from the conversation, creating a sense of distance.
But you must remember, you brought up a very important point now. You said that if a person is very open with their feelings and emotions, not connected, then stonewalling is a natural consequence. It's very easy to stonewall somebody that you're not connected with.
Yeah.
But if you're happy with them, and I'm talking about the cooking, and I'm talking about the washing, and I'm talking about how does the shirt look on me, does my shoes match my t-shirt? What about my eyes? Joking, laughing, because how are you supposed to love your spouse? You have to be real with them. You have to be humorous with them. You have to be connected to them, and you have to appreciate them. That's how love and marriages are maintained.
Does the person have to be humble for that?
Excuse me, I'm going to be food for worms.
Yeah.
One day, it's a categorical fact. Kullu nafsin zaikatul maut. I'm not going to live for 1 billion years. Nobody's going to. Only Allah is the ever living. Everybody perishes. If Rasulullah Pak live for 63 years, we're lucky we see 63. But one day I'm going to be what? That's what Maulana was talking yesterday. That don't be too involved in this dunya, because this dunya is there. Look, the greatest of people, Imam Abu Hanifa, was a great, rahmatullah, he was a great merchant. But look at him, we are called Hanafis, most of us. Shafis, they are. These people were great people, but these imams were also merchants as well. So do your business, but also understand who you are. So how can you not be humble when you know one day you're going to die? How can you not be humble when you know if this woman leaves me, what's going to be my value? I'm going to be a weekend father. I'm going to be a person who people are going to feel sorry for. I'm going to come home and put my lights on. I need this woman. I need to make it work. If you have hands, look after your hands. Don't put your hands in the fire. If you need your spouse, do not hurt your spouse. Women are going to think, I don't need this man's nonsense. But at the end of the day, how are you going to parent your children alone?
Also, you have to think of good times where he was there for you.
And the good times can become more successful if you'll talk, you'll get through your problems, learn how to overcome illnesses, fighting, arguing, discrepancies, disagreements. These are issues you have to learn to go past. But unfortunately, today what we're talking about is when you say, you know what, I'm going to break that person by stonewalling them.
They refuse to communicate.
Yeah.
Okay, we have messages. Would you like to give your numbers first?
Okay, so if you want to contact us on air, 0861904904, we can hear your lovely soothing voice on air. If you want to WhatsApp us on the studio line, 060 904 1056, 060 904 1056. And if you want to SMS me on my line, my number, 083 7789314. Send us a message and tell us, you know what, my husband, he doesn't talk to me for weeks on end when we have an argument. I'll show you how to now get him to start talking to you.
Can I read this message?
Please.
Assalamu alaikum to Bhai and Bhabhi. My salams and duas to you and your family and entire Ansaar family. Always remembered in my pious duas. Beautiful show to really calm people. Okay, this I don't understand. You'll never go Joburg. I think she's asking us.
Yes, because remember in the beginning I said that I'm feeling a little bit windy. I agree. I am not a Cape Town person. It's a beautiful city. Joburg is a wonderful place. My sister even lives in Joburg, but I'm telling you, I can't make it with the weather because I am just a desert person. I can take 50-degree heat, alhamdulillah. I've taken 50-degree heat, but I can't manage 5 degrees. I need 2 jerseys. I need 3 blankets. I need to be walking around with a solar-powered heater.
Have a beautiful, blessed weekend with you. With you, our family. My favorite station, only with Ansaar. Jazakallah Amin. Bhabhi, to read my message. My Allah reward you all abundantly. My family is there.
In Joburg.
Yeah,
a lot of our families in Joburg. My nephews are there also as well. We also have a voucher today from our wonderful sponsors. Remember, the show is brought to you by Lifestyle Home that is at 311 Walls Road. If you haven't been there, why are you square? Lifestyle in the Ratio Cafe. Remember, we talk about them. And you know what? We were just talking to our wonderful friend there, and she was telling us that they're launching something new today called the cinnamon scones. So, something new and new always is coming out from there. And if you like to always be experimenting nice things, not necessarily sweet things or something, because there's some lovely sandwiches there. We just walking park and saying, you know what, the steak, I was telling my son yesterday. But the Ratio Cafe offers you
before we go any
fantastic
further,
deli.
would you like to read your joke about cinnamon?
No, we done that already. No,
Okay.
I need a fresh joke, not a stale
Maybe
cinnamon
we'll go have that
joke.
cinnamon spoon. Then we'll have a fresh joke after that.
Cinnamon. Come on, if you're listening in. Okay, you know what? I'm going to give the voucher to somebody who remembers my cinnamon joke.
Oh my God.
Right. So there's a 150 Rand voucher for the home, the lifestyle home, and there's a 150 Rand voucher for the Ratio Cafe. So y'all are regular listeners, and maybe about 3 or 4 weeks back, I cracked a cinnamon joke. And let's see if anyone remembers that joke. It was a terrible joke. I know.
I don't agree with this competition. I thought just you gonna say the joke.
No, come on. Let's see if the listeners out there remember. And then we'll see after. But send us your comments on 060 904 1056. Remember, we need to give away those 2 vouchers, please. We'd like to make you guys happy. We did promise you last week that we're going to give you some vouchers. And once a month, we come up with these vouchers. So at least for this month, now we can give away 150 Rand for Lifestyle Home, 150 Rand for Ratio Cafe. And just tell us which one you would prefer. Maybe you'd like to go and have a nice steak sandwich there with a nice pistachio latte. Seriously, it's nice. Really nice.
Please send us your messages with your name, your cell phone number, and if you are the winner, we'll let you know and we'll take your ID.
After that, inshallah.
But please don't focus too much on the joke.
Well, look, it's the joke, right? And then further on, if you also want to send us some nice comments about stonewalling as well, we'll take the best one and that will probably win the other voucher. Remember, there's 2 vouchers to win. One will be for that, and the second one will be for that, for your best comments about what we're talking about today.
But so on the topic of stonewalling as well, is stonewalling thought? It means if something that you have witnessed without even knowing that this is
of course, it comes from your genealogy. You've been taught that. Nobody just comes up with the fact that, you know what, we can just do this to somebody and hurt them. Probably you saw your father do it, or your mother do it, or your granny do it, or somebody do it to you. So you learn that this is a mechanism to instill discipline and respect in the person. So how dare my wife call me somebody that's useless?
Because I know, I'm thinking of somebody that when her children told her that you gave us wrong lunches when we were young, or you treated us badly when we were young.
Remember that.
She used to lock herself. Is that stonewalling?
Yes. You see, stonewalling, essentially, when you break it down psychologically, it means that the person is unable, they have an inability to reconcile these issues. So if your child comes to you, like my son come and tell me, Daddy, you lied. I said, son, I lied? Now I can't go lock myself in my office and say, Miss Ma, my son called me a liar, and I never lie. No, I can't do that.
Or punish the child for questioning you.
He's so cute. He looks at me and I just melt.
I'm just talking in general.
Right. So then I have to confront it. So
because
I have to ask
punishing is not only, as we discussed today, it's not when you punish your children, punish your wife. It's not only with physical. It's also when you are very passively aggressive and you torture them like that.
Yeah, because psychological abuse is the worst because it traumatizes you.
Yeah.
Now here, if you have a physical fight with somebody, they punch you, you punch them. But psychologically, they're not answering you because you're locked up in that room. So here,
stonewalling is also when you want to punish anyhow. You want to punish your family, children, wife, spouse, to never question you.
Yeah, because now you don't have the ability to question. Now, so he came and told me, Daddy, you lie. So I said, tell me, son, where did I lie? Because you know I don't lie. No, Daddy, you told me you're going to buy me 3 presents. How? I bought you 1. He said, yeah, but you said 3. So that means you lied. I said, no, I bought you 1, but I was going to buy you 2 more. But did I tell you I'm going to buy you by a certain time? Because if I broke the time limit, then yes, it's going to be construed as a lie. Did I tell you by when? He said, no. So you're misunderstanding, son. You still got 2 coming to you. I never said I'm going to not buy you 2 more. Oh,
Because we know a lot of
okay.
families that they shiver, especially daughters, or maybe son become a little bit more aggressive, but daughters and wives, they're very frightened to approach their
See, the
fathers.
patriarchal system where you frighten of your father is not going to work. Rasulullah Pak was loved by his
Oh, yeah.
children,
And he
loved by
showed
his
love.
family, loved by his wives. That is not Islamic where the man is going to speak and everybody must shiver. Remember, even Maulana says, don't be a lion, be the lamb. When you walk into your house, you must be the friend that everybody is waiting to talk to. If you can tell me, and maybe you'll win a prize, guys out there, if you send me a message and say, when I walk into the house, I have to look at 4 different people at the same time because one is saying, we're waiting so long for you. Why you never why didn't phone? Why you didn't answer my call? That's the wife. Then the son, Daddy, I want to tell you this joke. And the other one is saying, Dad, I need you to help me because I need this. I need that because you know what? I need you to explain this to me. Now, if you have that kind of a situation when you just walked in home after a hard day's work, please tell me because I want to give you a prize. Because at the end of the day, that's who we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be
How
wanted
nice
as men.
if the children nominate their parents.
Sorry?
Children nominate their parents, or husband nominates their wives, or wives nominate their
That'll be
husbands.
wonderful because
Yeah.
they would now verify that, you know what, this man is doing a good job. Because if it's left unaddressed, stonewalling is likely to cause severe marital distress, conflict, and disruption. The kids are wondering, why are we living in a fridge? Mommy is not talking, daddy is not talking. We don't know what we're doing. These upheavals in marriage leads to depression, poor social competence, withdrawal, health problems, poor academic performance in children. That means everybody suffers. I don't like the cold because, yeah, a lot of people say put a jersey on. Now, yeah, when somebody's not talking to me, it's a cold feeling. I can't put a jersey on and say, I don't care if you don't talk to me. I'm going to say,
Somewhere
are
it
you
will
angry with
affect
me?
them.
Are you angry with me? So if you're angry with me, are you going to forgive me or do I have to pay you for it? I said, okay, 10 million. Because about 10 million is a lot.
Okay.
I don't have 10 million. Can I owe you and pay it off installments? So even my son too. Well, luckily, I don't think they hold grudges against me when I shout them. Do you think they hold grudges?
No, they get a shock because you don't shout.
I
Normally.
don't shout
Yeah,
them,
you're
but
always
at the
friendly.
end of the day, they need a shouting sometimes. You know that. All children need to learn how to be shouted because when they grow up, then somebody's going to shout them and they're going to go to pieces. We
Yeah.
have to get them ready. So when they shout me, say, see, this is why I shouted you. You made me very angry. But I didn't lose my cool. I didn't go overboard. I just kept it under control. The next time you're going to behave this naughty, this bad, then you know what? I'm going to have to discipline you. So what's it going to be? All your privilege is going to go. So they need to learn all of this. So
Fine.
you know what? We need salt, we need sugar.
But sometimes as children, they like to push boundaries.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, not all the
Now,
time.
in women, these types of upheaval are proven to cause illness, and in men, they tend to cause loneliness. Men get
Yeah.
depressed, women get sick because they're living with a man who does not appreciate them. Now, I mean, come on, what are you trying to prove? Who are you showing that you know what you are the man? It don't work. So, few reasons why a stonewaller will say things like, you know what, it's a fear of getting hurt again or being made a fool of. So, a woman will say, I don't want to talk to you because you know what, every time I talk to you, you hurt my feelings. A man will say, I don't want to talk to you because you got no way of talking. I work so hard for you. My father never went through. My mother knew how to respect my father. I don't agree with that statement because you have not been witness to every fight your mother and your father had. Yes, your mother respected your father and she also valued him, but she did have a word or two. If you want your wife to respect, then you have to rise above the disrespect. Be respectable and say, you called me poor. Where have I lacked? Where have I lacked in giving you? Don't I give you everything I can? Poor are people who are unhappy, not who lack finances. Poor is a mental state of mind because the poor people of the Ummah are going to go to Jannah before the rich people. The rich people are going to give accountability. Are we really poor? Misbah, would you get stunned if I said something like that?
Yeah.
That's a nice bayan, isn't
It's
it?
a nice bayan.
Yeah, so now men come up with those bayans, right? Now, there's also been a triggering event. So that's why now you shut down, you go into shock. I mean, how could she call you a lazy person? How could you call you unambitious? My father bought so many things for me. I've been married to you. I'm not getting things like that. I'm just giving a raw example. I'm not saying women are all financially dependent and, you know, greedy and all of that. No, no, no. I'm just saying these are unfortunate arguments that happen. But most time women will fight about you don't give me time. You don't compliment me enough. You don't do this, you don't do that. Now you'll say, I bought you flowers last month. Last month? So maybe she said some nasty things. She was in a bad mood and that triggered you. So you don't want to talk to her because she was seriously really disrespectful. A way to punish or show pain or anger when we feel disrespected or unfairly treated is essentially why a man would maybe
Explode.
explode with, or maybe implode
Okay.
by being that way.
We being very unfair by not reading these messages.
Go for it.
Assalamu alaikum.
So we mustn't stonewall them now. That's what you're saying, right? Okay.
My Faisal Bhai and my bhabhi and the Dil Badal the team. One day your pain will be the proof of your power. Your deepest wound carry your greatest wisdom. The heart that often suffered the most loves the strongest. When hope you lost, courage takes the lead. Every door closed teaches you how to build your own. The road of struggle always leads to strength. I survived too many storms alone. Now they offer me umbrella. Too late, I learned how to be strong by going on my musalla. I mean, uh, even the smallest act of sincere try, one smile, one word, one whispered dua can be means of enormous reward. Never underestimate the power of doing good without no one knowing this for the sake of Allah Almighty. Ameen, Ameen, Suma Ameen. Ya Allah, mere dil badal de. Ameen.
You got that one today.
Yeah.
You're getting better than me, eh?
This one.
Which one? Okay.
I think too small. Can I read? My Faisal Bhai and my Bhabi, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala आप और आपकी फैमिली को हमेशा खुश और सलामत रखे आमीन. Sister
Better than me
Ruqayya.
now.
Yeah. Please make me maaf if I said or did anything wrong.
Never. Not that we're never going to make you laugh. Never you do anything wrong. Okay, so we're still waiting for those WhatsApps to come in. Remember, you're going to win yourself a 150 Rand voucher. The first one was the cinnamon joke I made. I don't think anybody remembers that. See, I told you that was that bad.
It was very. It just make the joke.
You don't have to agree with me. Just being humble, yeah, okay?
But the sister Ruqayya sent this message, and I like this part where she said, "I survived too many storms alone. Now they offer me umbrella. Too late, I learned how to be strong by going on my musalla. Ameen."
That's the umbrella. She learned that she is strong.
Yeah.
The umbrella is that you have a musalla to go to, you have your intellect, you have sabr, you have lots of, tenacity. But unfortunately, when you are alone, stonewalling can sprawl, branch out, and infect relationships in new ways. Whoever is being stonewalled is likely to progress to secondary feelings of fear, anger, and aggression to engage with you again. And the response will be, oh, she don't care, or he doesn't care, he doesn't love me anymore. And this can give a risky rise to increasingly desperate attempts to break through to you with escalating aggression. She might now take your stories and go tell your mother, and then it'll make you more angry. She might go tell her father and mother, he's not talking to me now for 3 weeks. I must cook, I must look after his house. And he just comes home, eats, and he's like a statue. I can't talk to him. He just says, please leave me alone. So please leave me alone. You're going to get what you want. You're going to be left alone. Don't you think?
But in some cases, it can be a tactic to gain power. Control the conversation or punish the other participant.
Punishment means you are superior. Disciplining means like how we discipline our children. Now you're going to discipline one another. Marriage does not work that way. You don't discipline one another. You're not scared that the person is now going to endanger you. You communicate with one another. You trust one another. You rely upon one another. But if you're going to hurt the other person's feelings by making them feel inferior, that you are stupid, you are untidy, you are oaf, or you are, a disgrace, then what's going to happen is the person is now not going to feel part of you.
But this point really reaches home when you say you cannot discipline your partner. Are you not allowed Islamically or morally to tell them these things that you're untidy, you are stupid?
How you tell them? If you're going to tell them,
we have a lot of marriages where one spouse is living in this emotional dilemma where they always feel smaller and insecure in the relationship because the other partner is always gaslighting them, manipulative behavior, or maybe they're just saying very nasty things to the other person.
Correct. Now, what kind of a marriage is that? That's a marriage where you are put yourself on the top of the food chain and everybody else must revere you. It's very lonely at the top. But if you come down and join the people. Now, when we do counseling, we teach men and women that, it's better in numbers. Be a tribe. Don't be a loner. Because at the end of the day, if everybody's going to be frightened of you because mommy's going to lose a temper, you can't talk to mommy, then you feel alone. Yeah, you might feel powerful because everybody's frightened of you, but you feel alone because does anybody like you? They respect you. They fear you, but do they really like you? Will they really come and tell you, Mommy, I don't know what to do. I need to make a decision. They won't share with you their feelings, and you won't be able to now feel good about yourself by guiding them. Remember, as parents, we need to guide our children.
Because if you talk about the partner on the receiving end feels dismissed, ignored, rejected, and can develop resentment.
Absolutely.
I've heard so many women who got divorced, and it's sad to say that they got divorced, but they said, I felt so relieved.
Because they were living in a fridge. Now, when the sun will come out, I'm going to feel very good. Right? I'm going to say, hey, it's so nice to have 20 degrees and 25 degrees temperature. But at the end of the day, when you're putting a jacket on, it's heavy.
Yeah.
And I don't like to wear those jackets on and throw them off. I like t-shirts. I like, light clothing. So when you're in a relationship where you have to constantly be on guard, you have to be prepared and you have to disregard when he shouts or screams or she screams and she swears and whatever happens, right? Then it creates a mahal, an ambience or an atmosphere of security. Prepare yourself, protect yourself, and you have to cocoon yourself. How are you going to live like that? You get tired. Constant complaints. Oh, the food is not right. You didn't put too much of salt. Oh, your mother never taught you how to cook. You don't have to say nasty things. We're going to be accountable for what we say. You can lose your iman if you say something nasty. This is how powerful our tongues are. Every human being, man, woman, child, needs to understand that. When you're going to say something, you can't take it back. If you call somebody a bad name, you can apologize to them. But after, what's going to happen? You're going to forget what you said. You're going to spend the rest of your life now making it up to them with flowers and chocolates and whatever. So better don't say anything. So stonewalling is a bad thing.
Stonewalling basically is considered one of the most destructive communication pattern in a relationship and is a
I
strong
agree.
predictor of divorce too.
Yeah, because they become so detached now. They're actually showing each other that we can live without each other now. So he doesn't want to talk, right? So she don't want to talk, and she's going to show him, and he's going to show him. So when they come to see us, I say, "Wow, you all got married to fight, isn't? You all got married because you wanted to show that you all are better than one another. That's why you all got married. I thought you all said you all love each other, because if people love each other, they don't want to show them that they're better than them. They want to be humble towards them. Like, why would a man spend hard-earned money to give to his wife in the form of flowers or a gift? It's because he wants to show her he loves her. So he spends of himself. He humbles himself, and he does for her. When she loves her husband and she'll go in the kitchen and make a fantastic meal for him, or get him his tea, or serve him, then how good he feels. When she goes out there and works and she contributes to the household, she's trying to assist her husband. When he now stands up for her and says, "You know what, my wife is so wonderful," he compliments and tells everybody how wonderful she is. You're supposed to humble yourself. So if an agreement is not reached, so let's say now I'll say that is blue and you'll say that's gray, then we can talk about it. But as long as we have our protocols or our foundations in control, I don't want to break you. I don't want to beat you. That means I don't want to win. This is not a competition. This is a collaboration. I need you
Because
to
I'm thinking
understand
of
me.
a situation where quite a few years back, this person actually cheated on his wife, and
Mhm.
then they got back together, but there was no counseling, nothing involved. They just got back together because of the children. But he was not respected in his house too much. So what he did, he stonewalled.
Mm,
Every time he was questioned, he ran to the stonewalling situation.
mm,
And then what happened when the children grew up? They saw that this is the way of solving issues, where you just stonewall or you scream or you shout.
That's a method of
So that's
communication.
they didn't even realize what they're learning. Of I don't think the father even realized that what he's teaching them. So now children, as adults or as parents, that's what they do. They just stonewall when they are questioned.
So many a times the father feels disrespected because he's getting used. These are conversations that's supposed to be had with your family. Um, why don't you respect me? Don't I work hard enough for you? Says, yeah, you do, but daddy, but you shout too much. So now, okay, so you're going to use me for the money and use me for whatever I can provide, the home and for your education, and you're going to respect me. Yeah, but daddy, you spoil it because why? You always start fighting and screaming and you make mommy cry. Can we have this conversation? Can a man sit down and have this honest conversation with his teenage children?
Yes, and that will be very helpful, and that how you're gonna resolve issues in future in their life, where you're learning to communicate instead of stonewalling, learning to communicate, you're learning to speak about, and not frightened that, oh, if I'm gonna speak, they're gonna disrespect me.
But see, that's the key word, frightened.
Yeah.
When a person stonewalls, he's frightened to engage in conversation because what's going to come out is what they did wrong, but what will also come out is what he did wrong. So most of the time, the people who stonewall are not good communicators because stonewalling is a resignation.
Mm.
You go and lock yourself in your room every night. You go to bed early. So again, if you do that 1 or 2 days, that's fine. Like we said, men like to sleep.
Yeah.
But after a day or so, you have to have a meeting. You have to sit down and talk about it and say, listen, did you really mean what you said? They'll say, yeah, I meant it. Okay, good to know. good to know this is what you think of me. I mean,
Yeah.
that's fine. If you say it and you're standing by your words, that you call me all those disgraceful names, you swore at me, it's good. You swore at my family. I appreciate that. I understand that. But it has to be broached. This difficult conversation is
That's
something.
why I think counseling helps.
Yeah, because you can have this difficult conversation without it escalating into arguments and divorce. Because now you don't have to say, if that's what you think of me and this is how you disrespect me, then you'd rather go to your father's
Because
house.
for me, what's very progressive in our counseling
Alhamdulillah.
sessions is that when you translate the other person's words or other person's
You mean what I do?
point, yeah, when
Okay.
somebody like a husband gets angry with his wife, they say, "Well,
Mm.
see what she's saying," and then you sit him down, see, this is what she meant, and this is where she's coming from.
Mm.
Because for two people who are very hurt, for them to have this difficult conversation sometimes just gets out of hand, and they're not finding a solution. Just running around in circles because he's hurting her feelings. She wants to hurt him back, and we're not
Well,
going anywhere.
the core is that we have to ground them,
Yeah.
and we have to say to them, see, you'll both want to be married, but you lost your map or your compass. The compass is love, and love is always giving, not taking. So if you love your wife, you will say to her, I'm sorry. If you love your husband, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. And sorry is a very important thing because it formulates part of our iman. What we say, istighfar. You ask for maaf. Toba. You say, Ya Allah, I'm never going to do that again. I'm sorry for what I did. I regret what I did. So humility is part of our iman, and humility has to be practiced with our spouses, our children, with our colleagues, with our friends, with our relatives, everybody. I mean, yesterday I had a relative walk past me, almost walk past me. I don't know, they didn't even notice me, and I was right sitting like maybe like uh, 30 centimeters away from them. But as they walked past me, maybe they were lost in their thoughts. So I grabbed his hand and I said to him, Assalamu alaikum, how? He didn't see me. Oh, how are you? How are you? Okay. So you have to now, oh, you didn't want to greet me. I don't think he likes me. Don't let it go there. How are you? Be the one that gives in. You will find more success. If you're going to say sorry to your wife more often, she's going to get very irritated with you being humble. Sorry, don't stop the lorry and all that. But at least she'll see you as a humble person. Build your relationship.
I just thought of one joke, if you don't mind.
Well, nobody going to win the vouchers today. I
Yeah,
can see that.
something I can win the
So we'll have
voucher.
to keep it for next week, inshallah.
Okay. So I don't know if you heard this joke before, where husband and wife was fighting, and because they were speaking to each other, the husband wrote a note on the fridge that wake me up at 7, I have a meeting.
Right.
And then next morning he woke up at 9 and he realized wife didn't wake him up, and he ran to the kitchen and he saw the wife wrote on the fridge, wake up.
Okay.
So that's a good one.
Okay, so I don't know if that's better than the knock jokes and my cinnamon jokes, but I don't know. We'll have to get a third opinion about that.
Well, good thing is the show is finishing, so we don't have much.
Okay, so the
We
show
got
is
2
finishing.
minutes.
Okay, so remember now, whatever situation, the dire situation, it cannot continue if you are not communicating, which means you are fighting more. Please, you'll need help. Reach out for help. There's lots of competent people out there that can give you the support that can help you. But don't sit in your dire consequences, not talking to each other, and days, weeks, months have passed. Because remember, unfortunately, your children are getting damaged. So if you love your children, do it for them. Sort your people's problems out. And remember, if
Sorry, Faizal, they have a message. It came later. We have to read now. Salam. Jazakallah for the brilliant presentation. I have been through a lot, but today, whenever we disagree, I be silent until it's a good time to sit down in good, great understanding and talk to each other. I was a wife to a very difficult person, but I can say today I'm so admired and receive so much gratitude because his attitude has changed. Jazakallah to you both, love and duas. We are living the best life these days. MashaAllah.
she learned how to compartmentalize, which we also teach.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've come to the end of the show. As Asif has warned us now, we need to close up the show, but we'd love to talk to you guys more. Inshallah, let's hope Allah gets us back here next week. Inshallah, give us long life and good health. And you guys, unfortunately, you didn't send any messages. Now, how am I supposed to give the vouchers? I don't know who to give it to. But never mind, we'll keep them for another day, and we'll talk about it next time, inshallah. So remember, if you're thinking about divorcing, please give us a call. Let us talk you out of
What
it.
did we learn today?
Talk.
Communicate.
Don't fight. Communicate. Don't stonewall. Nothing gets fixed unless you talk about it. All right. Till next time, inshallah. From myself, Faizal C. Joosab, and my charming Misbah Iman Joosab. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
या सुनूं मैं नाम तेरा धड़कनों में या मजा आ जाए मौला दिल बदल दे रहूं बैठ
Dil Badal De is proudly brought to you by Lifestyle Food and Home, your elite culinary destination.
दूर ऐसा अदा कर दिल बदल दे खुदाया फजल फरमा दिल बदल दे या मौला मौला या मौला तेरा हो जाऊं इतनी आरज़ू है या मौला बस इतनी है तमन्ना दिल बदल दे या मौला तेरा हो जाऊं इतनी आरज़ू है
Radio Al Ansar, 24/7, 365.
An informative Islamic global perspective. This is Al Ansar News.
Making news at 11, KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant